So here you see a rather large model of Jerusalem in the Israel Museum, Second Temple, Jerusalem. You see the temple, you see there the people could come up from the south. You can't see it quite from this angle, but we'll go into some more detail in a different video. But the Pool of Siloam is down there. People could wash in that, or in many of the mikveot, the ritual baths. And then they would come up these steps, the southern steps of the temple. There were two gates there, often called the Huldah gates from the Mishnah, double gate and triple gate. And then they would come underground. Obviously you can't see that unless you have X-ray vision, but they would come up, and you see these two areas here where the people would emerge from the underground staircases, and they would be then in the outer court of the temple, the only place where the Gentiles could go. And then you see the inner courts of the temple. Now, on this side, you see the Fortress Antonia, and that is possibly where Peter was in Acts chapter 12. It's certainly where Paul was in Acts chapters 21 through part of 23. And actually it had been a fortress in Maccabean times, but it had become a Roman fortress. It was used by the Romans during the Roman period as they guarded the temple, they watched over the temple, and they could descend from there into the temple courts, which is how they ended up accidentally rescuing Paul in Acts chapter 21. You see that Jerusalem is pretty well fortified. It not only has the walls, but there is also kind of a steep incline. Jerusalem is built on a hill. Looking at it here from the east, this would be like viewing it from the Mount of Olives. So when Jesus is speaking to his disciples in Mark chapter 13 and Matthew chapter 24, this is very similar to what they would see. On the other side of the city, in terms of the wealthier part, the bigger homes, you can see Herod's palace. You also can see a hippodrome, which shows the extensive Greek influence that had been going on since the Hellenistic period and through the Hasmonean period. And you also see the homes bigger in the upper city and then smaller in the lower city, although archaeologists have found more wealth in the lower city than we used to think.
Внутри нету, можно спуститься и погулять на его